One. Today I'm going to show you how you can build a command block mail system in your world. This is the first video in which I'm doing commentary, so if I mess anything up, just ignore it. So the benefits of this system, I've written them down. The first is that it displays the player's name only if the player has a has a mail, and if the player is online. So if the player is offline and you put a mail in his mailbox, it won't show up. The next thing is that it updates real time. So the moment the player will remove his or her mail, it will remove the name of the player from the screen. And the most important benefit is that the player won't have to visit the mailbox every time. He can or she can just check the screen, and if the name isn't there, you don't have a mail. There are some prerequisites that you need to do. First of all, this needs command blocks, so cheats need to be activated. You need to create a backup score. By using this command you can create it. This is just to count the score if the player is offline. Next thing is that you need to create a score mail. This is the score that will be displayed on the screen whenever the player comes online. You can see over here that I have added a part of after dummy. That is how the name will be displayed. As you can see, I have made it green. So on the screen on the right hand side you can see that it's green. Now this is the command that you can use to display the mail. There are various methods to do it. I like to do it this way. You can also display it under the player's name, and I think that this is better because you don't have to pause the game to check whether you have a mail or not. The next thing will be to disable command block output. I think it is very important, otherwise your chat will be spammed with commands, and no one likes that. So you can do this and your chat will be clean. Another thing is that this is the whole system. It is again infinitely expandable. All you need to do is that the whole system needs to be a ticking area. So you can see this corner to that corner is a ticking area. Now how you can set up a ticking area, you just note down the corner coordinates. You can see this is one corner and this is the other corner, and you can just use this command and it will set up a ticking area, and you can name the ticking area whatever you want, so you can shut it down whenever you don't want to use it anymore. This is all the prerequisites. As you can see, this system doesn't take that much of space, and once again it's expandable infinitely. The first thing to be done is to set up this command block to count the number of online players. This can be done using this command, and what this does is just test for the number of players online. So whenever a player comes online or whenever a player goes offline, this command block will update the comparator reading coming out of it, and that will update the observers. So as you can see, I have put the count maximum count to 11. This is for realms. Realms allow a maximum of 11 players at a time, and that's why I've set it for 11. Another thing to be noted is that it won't count more than 15 players, because redstone dust can only go up to 15, and then the command block won't update if any more players come online. So keep that in mind. The maximum that it can count at a time is 15. So suppose you have 15 online players and another player comes online, this system won't update. Next thing is the number of players. This can hold a single repeat command block can hold up to 60 players. So you can see 15 over here, 15 over here, and you can have 15 here and 15 here as well. So that will be a total of 60 players that you can keep track of using a single repeat command. The actual command for each player is very simple. First of all, you need a backup code for each player. So I'm using AA, AB, then next will be AC, AD, AE, and so on. Again, this is a one wide tileable design, and you can have 60 of them, as I told. So yeah, suppose I'm taking an example player and setting the backup of that player to AA. Then first you need to test for the player. That can be done using this command. Then if the player is found, it goes to the next command block, because it is a chain command block set to conditional, to check if the player has a mail. That can be done using this command, which tests whether the player has a backup score, and the backup score will be updated whenever the player has a mail. And the last thing to do is to set the player's mail to 1, so that the player's name will be displayed on the screen and the player knows that he or she has a mail. That's all. And for the this will be powered using a repeater that is linked to the observer over here. So the observer will send out a signal that will update all of these 60 players at once. And believe it or not, that's all you have to do on over here. So this will keep track of whenever a player comes online or goes offline, all of these command blocks will update, and that will update the mail of that player. Now to the actual mailbox. Again, this is a one wide tileable design, but you need to alternate between chests and trap chest. Suppose the same example player, this is the whole setup that you need to do. The first 3 command blocks over here are for updating the mail, and the next 2 are for deleting the mail. The first thing that we need to do whenever a mail is filled is to update the backup score in case the player is offline. So we are going to just set the player's backup score to 1. As you can see, the code is AA, and over here the backup code was AA. Suppose we are considering a score AP, then the backup over here will be backup AP backup. Next we are going to use the same block to power another command block that will test whether the player is offline or online, and if the player is online, it will update this command block, which will update the player's mail to 1, and the player's name will appear on the screen. Next thing is, first of all, when this is filled, this comparator will update, this repeater will be updated, and this torch will turn off. And when the mailbox is emptied again, this will turn off again, and the torch will turn on again, powering these 2 command blocks. Now this command block will reset the mail, and this command block will reset the backup. So after the player removes the mail, again all of his backup and all of his mail is reset to 0. That's all that there is to this system. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask them in the comments below. One thing to be noted is the conditions in each command block. You need to make sure that it is the correct block type, the correct condition, and the correct redstone requirement. Otherwise, some command blocks might mess up your whole system. The other thing to be noted is that the things over here says that AA backup, it will keep changing, AB, AC, and so on. And other than that, if you have any other doubts, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Thanks.